Welcome to the February 2023 full moon. This is an ice moon. Its theme is the loving embrace of the child within. And as you can see, we got some real fun stuff to work with today. This lunar cycle, it's going to be softer, more heart-spaced, but also just because it's heart-spaced doesn't mean you're not going to feel shit. You're going to feel a lot. It's going to be very emotional. I know for myself, I lost my cat last year around this time. And I know some other people who are currently going through lots of layers of grief and pain and loss, especially with something that's very near and dear and close to the heart. So with that in mind, let's take a moment and call in our directions, starting with the east. Let's bring in the wind, movement, freedom, new beginnings, new stages, new thoughts and new ideas, everything that floats and flies and glides through the air. Let us welcome it and bring it in. Next we move to the south, to the fire and flames of passion and light. The fuel that burns deep inside us to drive us further and to reach out and seek that which might be lost to us. Next, we shift over to the west, to the earth, to the ground beneath our feet, to our own stability and our ability to wrap ourselves in the womb of the earth, to the mother who brings us everything and who shows us all we are, all we will be, and all we have to become. We bring you in. And lastly, to the north, to the waters deep within us, to the vast endlessness of emotion, deeper and wider than the oceans, to everything great and small that lives there, that lives within us, that fuel, that light that makes all life so. We welcome and bring you in. To our Earth Mother, Gaia, the goddess beneath, we ask you to come and embrace your children. Surround us with your warmth, love, and serenity so we may create our own peace, balance, and home. To the Father above, to the sky, the great serpent in the clouds, we beseech you to shine your divine light upon your servants, filling us with your divinity, so that we may see, hear, speak, and feel with your eternal wisdom and understanding. And lastly, we reach out to the Father time of here and now. All that is, all that was, all that will be do not matter, because what is here, what is now, is the only things we can guarantee and that are certain. And of course, to our beloved sister the moon, watching over us, coming full tonight, shining her bright light in this coldest of months, this in the time of the ice and the frost, and the cold and chill, the snow that blows and keeps us indoors. We reach out to that energy. We ask it to embrace us, to provide us strength, in these trying, cold times. And with that being said, as you can see, we've got a very interesting crowd to work with today. We have our friend here, Tangerine Quartz. This is an iron-stained or iron-coated quartz. It's where the iron gets trapped either on the top layers or just beneath the surface. This brings in a strong soul retrieval type energy, very integrative, especially towards our inner child, which is much needing love, or helping us to heal after psychic attacks and trauma. It takes us beyond our own limiting beliefs, beyond that which holds us back. It demonstrates that like attracts like, teaching us how to give and receive. So what we put out into the universe is what we get back from her. And that's what we wish to push forward and create more. Next, we shift over to our friend Celestite. This is a high crown, throat, third eye stone. It's a high vibrational teacher of the new ages, of the times that are coming, with the helping us to trust in the infinite wisdom of the divine, in that it knows what is best for us, and it knows the path of the future for the universe, helping us to remain pure of heart and maintain harmony during times of stress, trauma, and misfortune. Next, we shift over to this lovely, very popular, very common rose quartz. This is a love stone, unconditional love and peace. This is a very important heart healer. It attracts love and promotes receptivity to all forms of beauty. It draws in love and support to existing relationships. It's an emotional healer, releasing unexpressed emotions, heartache, and deprivation. Trauma healer, replacing all that is negative with positive, loving vibrations. And then we switch over to Malachite. As you can see, we have it here in a fibrous form. This is a more natural botryoidal, where it melted and dripped down on the rock beneath it. Malachite is a protector against the evil eye or any who wish to do us harm. It draws emotions to the surface, a powerful cleanser of the emotional body, of past lives and childhood trauma. It reveals spiritual blocks and outworn patterns in an almost merciless way, because those things do not help us. Instead, they hold us back, keep us from truly reaching our potentials and becoming who we're meant to be. And then we have ruby, another heart stone, a strong protector and healer, shielding us from psychic attacks and vampirism of the heart. It gives vigor to life, promotes passion for art, improving our motivation, setting realistic goals, helping you to follow your bliss and promote positive dreams and have clear visualization. Again, working through this heart, working through that space of love, and giving yourself permission to unconditionally not only love others, but yourself. To grieve when you need to grieve. To emote however you need to emote for yourself. Then we go to a personal favorite, magnesium. This is just pure crystallized magnesium. It's a very light, soft metal looking almost like angel wings. And this is something that has over 300 different bodily functions, from energy production to muscle contraction, blood pressure reduction, reducing inflammation, bone strength, and even preventing cancer. We use magnesium for a lot in our bodies through supplements and food. So in its crystalline form, guess what it works on in a more subtle way. And then last but certainly not least, our primary centerpiece, Frank. Frank is a smoky celestial quartz with feldspar, epidome, azurine, and epididymite. He is a safety blanket of peace and calm. He helps you to bring change while maintaining a sense of calmness and peace, keeping you focused on what needs to be found and removed from ourselves, or remaining clear to overcoming the obstacles and barriers to our own growth spiritually, physically, and mentally and emotionally. And I don't know about you guys, but this past year, hell, the last month has been a very trying and difficult time. Be it illness, stress, loss, and just life in general. We've all been having a time of it. And this is one of those times to kind of remember that we're not alone as we do, right? We all kind of go through these stresses, these pains and misfortune. We all love and we all lose. But not all that is lost from love is lost forever. We just need to give ourselves that time and space to feel what needs to be felt, to release as release needs. We can't be strong all the time. We can't be an adult all the time. We have a child in us crying and screaming for our attention and our love and support. And it's up to us to give it to them. We need to pay attention to that soft voice inside, listening to that little girl or boy who was ignored or cast aside, forced to grow up, and forgetting how to play, how to feel, how to emote. It's almost like they didn't want us to experience these things because the world is a painful place. But at the same time, we need to experience this pain, this loss, this suffering, in order to actually understand and value what means the most to us in this life. Can't just idly move along and let life happen to us. We need to go out, reach out, and happen to life. Yeah, I don't know about a lot of you guys, but it's been a time. It's definitely been very difficult. time these past months. And we need to remember to be kind to ourselves as much as we need to be kind to each other. We need as much love and affection as we seek to give everyone else around us. And don't mind the sniffles. It's just allergies. Can never seem to catch a break. Not when the world's like this. Know what I mean? Let's move you guys. Sometimes we just push ourselves too hard and we begin to forget who we really are inside. We have a lot to feel and experience in this lifetime, in this world. And we keep stopping ourselves for one reason or another. Somewhere along the lines told that these dreams and desires are just childhood or childish fantasies. Where's the purpose in it? Where's the money in it? We never stop to ask, why does it matter? Do things because you love to do them. Have fun for the sake of having fun. Love for the sake of love. And with a lot of that, we've also probably stopped ourselves from feeling love because love doesn't last forever. And love is almost synonymous with loss. But there's a little catch to that. There's this little obnoxious saying that people tend to have. But when you think about it, it's one of the most true sentences ever. It is better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. As much as I absolutely loathe those words, they are some of the most accurate I have ever experienced. Because as we kind of go through and reflect on these moments in life that we experience, and we look back at everything that we've loved and then subsequently lost, are there more good times attached to those memories, or are there more bad? I can guarantee there's always more good. The bad ones might stick out the most, but they never come close to the number of good times we've had. And we've never been told to cherish those good times, appreciate them for what they are. We just kind of assume they're always going to be there until that inevitable, painful loss comes around. And in that pain, we then are forced to remember the good times because they're no longer there. And then it's up to us to turn those good times into happy memories, because whomever those memories and emotions are attached to, they don't want us to suffer. They don't want us to be in pain every time we think about them. They don't want us to mourn just because you had a thought about them. It's fine to mourn the loss. It's healthy to mourn it, actually. But then to always be in a state of mourning, that is not healthy. That is not good for you. It's not good for their memory. So love your love. Feel your loss. But then embrace all those positive and happy memories that were created because of it. It's like our grandparents. Do you cry and get sad every year after our grandparents died? Someone who lived to be, I don't know, 80, 90, over 100 years old. People who have lived long, full lives. Would they want you to cry over them every single year on the day they either died, on the holidays you used to spend with them? Of course not. Do they want you to remember them? Always. But don't attach pain to their memory. Instead, attach memory. Remember the good times. Remember all the laughs you've had and shared. Remember all of the moments that have come and passed. Everything that has existed because of them. Lessons learned, experiences had. When we stop and think about it, we have gained so much more from those who our memories mourn. They've given us so much that it's only a discredit and disservice to them to be in a constant state of sorrow due to their loss. They don't want that. You shouldn't either. And as we all know, especially in this spiritualized mindset and world, just because they're dead and past does not mean that they are gone. They are not forgotten. They are not lost. They are always here with us, ever present, listening and waiting for you to remember they are there, waiting for you to call out their name when you're having a lonesome night, to reach out to them when you're deep in emotional space, to talk to them as you would if they were still alive. I challenge you, do that right now. Reach out to somebody who's not here anymore on a physical sense, but is always here for you should you call for them. You know? How's that old song go? If you call out my name, I'll come running. I'll be there. Because you remember, even as they're gone, they still love us. They still care for us. They're still there for us. And the only times that they're not there is when we forget about them. Forget to reach to them. Forget to call out their name. Remember those who we love and lost. For if we've truly loved them, they're never actually gone. We truly cared for them, and they know we cared for them, because that's how strong relationships are. Then you're never truly lost. They're never truly gone. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy. It's never easy. Especially if it's a fresh loss. Something new and unexpected or unwanted. But that's the thing. Nothing's permanent. Nothing actually lasts forever in a physical sense. It's not meant to. Anyone who tries to tell you otherwise is just fooling themselves. So we can experience our losses, our sadnesses, and trauma. And if in case you're wondering why his name is Frank, it's because it's what he told me. And he's a cheeky bastard because his full name is Frank, in a sense. You know, frankincense. Yeah, even crystals have dad jokes too. Look at that ruby, though. That deep, dark red. It's a gorgeous color. Got a July birth month. This is your birthstone. It's mine too. It's a beautiful thing. Let's get some stackage out here. Weird little unknown piece of information. But when you stack crystals upon each other, they can actually help amplify and bring together similar qualities. So with the Malachite and Tangerine Quartz, that's more of the integrative soul aspects, the heart healing, the inner child work. Combine it with the Rose Quartz, that's bringing in the more of a love connection. Remembering to attract to yourself that which you can balance within yourself. Working through the traumas that we've experienced by allowing ourselves to feel and embrace the love attached to it. Putting Malachite and Celestite together helps us to trust and alleviate, or trust into the universe, that what it reveals to us as outworn patterns and blockages and dysfunction in any kind of relationship, it allows us to trust in that knowledge, to break free from those connections, to move forward in a stronger, healthier, more full perspective. Come on through. Light the palo palo. That's what I'm doing right now. This is one of the few times I will tell you to be very careful with fire on a grid. And this is because of the magnesium. Magnesium is highly flammable and it's an explosive flame. So you don't want to get it too close to fire, or else you might cause a little bit of an explosion. And nobody needs that. It's not like we're working in a meth lab here. We're not Walter White. Let us bring together, unite these energies of inner child, inner love, unconditional and pure love that we have for ourselves, that's deep within ourselves, that's been lost due to other people's expectations, desires, and controls. Let's let those go. Let's free ourselves. Hey. Doing this setup by yourself isn't easy. Gotta watch heights of things without running into other stuff. I miss my cameraman. I miss my Chad Diamond Dan. But brothers gotta do what brothers gotta do. So I'll be playing with this one on my own. This very fast and potent heart energy. We're feeling shit this month, folks. If you haven't already, you will now. If you haven't been dealing with grief and sinus issues, you will be. This is the energy we're coming through on. Let's make sure this has a ground to it, because this, at the moment, doesn't have any. This is a very potent, very strong grid. So it needs to be wound down a little, if you will. Yeah, you see how slow that's moving in comparison? But it's much needed. This type of energy, this grief and inner child work, this outgrown patterns and lost ideals, it's not easy work. People think it's child's play because it's got child involved. That's not. Like, the people who haven't been able to embrace their inner child because they had to grow up early, they never had an easy life. Don't ever let them think they do. Like, if you have to schedule times to play and have fun, you're not doing it right. If you don't even know how to have fun without doing something that you've done only in your adult life, like, that's not playing. That's not enjoying yourself and having true fun. If you need, like, substances to enjoy yourself, you are so disconnected from your own inner child. It's kind of sad. But society does that to us. It pulls us away from that inner child energy, from that innocent energy. That's like, when was the last time you went and jumped in a puddle? Went and just played in the rain? Just embraced the moment as it came. Lived to live, played to play, not asking what's next or what's the value in this. There is no value in play. There is no point to it. If you're trying to make one, you're doing it wrong. If you need a perceived value for that to be fun, that's not fun. That's work. If you need an outcome, an incentive, that's not fun, that's work. We've lost what that means to truly be free and whole within ourselves. Before I finish up, I need to go and grab some friends real quick. We need to bring in a little bit more increased connection. We need to help connect this energy into ourselves. And we're going to do that with some faded quartz going along from this inner side. We need to free ourselves from our own expectations and requirements. Forget how we think we understand the world and realize we don't know shit. Because that's kind of the whole point of tapping into our inner child. It's tapping into that aspect of ourself that doesn't know anything. And why doesn't it know anything? Because it doesn't care. It's experiencing the world new, unabashed, unbastardized, free. Can you say you know what it's like to experience a free lifestyle? No worries, no fear. No desiring to meet expectations. No extreme goals. No unnecessary visions. Like, why did we stop allowing ourselves to be free? Why do we trap ourselves in this rat race of humanity? And why, oh why did we ever stop having fun? Stop playing? Stop feeling and expressing? Why did we stop? Why do we have this incessant need for perfection? Why do people have to spend hours and hours editing videos and trying to portray messages and images that we really just need to say to ourselves? And if we say it in a way that resonates with us, maybe, just maybe, it'll reach somebody that it resonates to as well. Because we're not alone in this world. We're not alone in these struggles. Oh, we are far from it. For every pain and frustration we go through, we have a brother or a sister, a friend, an acquaintance who's all going through the same, something similar, maybe even something worse. Does that mean we need to cry about it? Hell no. Might feel good for a minute. But that's not really the point, is it? Because we've become so fixated in those momentary fixes that we don't realize we've already lost the most important self, or the most important part, ourselves. And why do we do that? Because we're told and taught to never be ourselves, to never embrace your inner child, your inner weirdo, your inner you. So I'm going to find yourself this month. Find that voice that's been lost. Find that deep silence that exists within your heart and ask it to speak. Have it tell you its name, where it came from, why it's there and why it's here. Ask that inner self how to make it feel better. What'll make it have fun? What will bring joy into its life? What would bring joy into your own life, your own passion? Ask yourself these questions. Don't demand an answer. Don't even seek an answer. Just ask and see what happens, see what comes through. And if you find yourself becoming emotional, accept it, embrace it, let it come through. That emotion is what makes us human. Those tears are what make you, you. That inner voice and inner child, that softly spoken lost one. Bring them in, hold them close, let them know they are not forgotten, that they are not mourned and grieved over, but that they are loved. Because though they may have been lost, now they are found. And as my brother from another mother, my brother and Christopher Walken would say, it's time to seal the deal. A little bit of spice to make everything nice. The Holy Mother Herb lets everything be cured. And with that, I say, be kind to yourself in this coming month. This lunar cycle might be heavy and emotional, but the payoff at the end, the inner child being listened to, it's worth it. It's always worth it. Let them be known. Let yourself be known. And as always, be excellent to each other. Bill and Ted. Thank you. And have a wonderful, blessed lunar cycle.